Yo, ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? It's Egal Talks Football. We're back again with another video, and I am hyped. You don't understand. I just seen some great news. All you Arsenal fans, you're going to be gassed. Rodrygo to Arsenal is on, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, Rodrygo to Arsenal is on, ladies and gentlemen. And after a whole entire day where we've continuously had so many different things being pushed on us, Rodrygo to Arsenal is on, ladies and gentlemen. And we also know who we're now going to get as a goalkeeper. Guess who the goalkeeper we're going to sign is? I think all of us could have guessed this. It's Kepa Arrizabalaga. Yep. Arsenal love short arm, T-Rex arms, Chelsea rejects. Kepa Arrizabalaga is going to sign for $5 million to be our backup keeper, apparently. Arsenal are considering signing Kepa Arrizabalaga as a backup keeper as he's available for a £5 million release clause. The question is, would you guys take Kepa? Would you take Kepa? Let me know, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know, would you take Kepa? But before we go any further, there's so many different things. There's also the story that's understood that Morgan Rogers last week, it's not been followed up yet, but Arsenal have inquired about Morgan Rogers, and Aston Villa are demanding a big fee around 90 million. So that most likely will not happen, but Morgan Rogers has been spoken to by Arsenal. But let's get to the main story. Let's get to the big story. Let's get to why we're here. Rodrygo to Arsenal, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, Rodrygo to Arsenal. I am gassed about this link. I am gassed about this story, and we're going to break it down. We're going to talk about all of it. But before we go any further, just know that Arsenal now made Rodrygo their number one priority target winger. Yes, Rodrygo is Arsenal's number one priority target. He is going to be the guy that Arsenal want to get over the line the most. And the news is Rodrygo will insist to Xabi Alonso that he plays on the left, and has had conversations with Xabi and will decide his future in the foreseeable future. Also, we already know about Gabriel signing a new deal, but let's get into this story. This story is huge. Arsenal have made Rodrygo their number one winger target this summer. Now, that doesn't mean we're going to get him, but listen to this. We can exclusively reveal that the recruitment team at Arsenal are in unanimous agreement over Rodrygo, and goes is a player who could be the difference between the hunt and major silverware. Then you also got several key figures at Arsenal have spoken to Rodrygo, including the first team player, about life at Arsenal/North London. The next thing you have is other Premier League sides are involved and have set out their strategy to lure him, but Arsenal will present a strong financial offer if the player is placed on the market. So now let's talk about the current situation. So far, I love what I'm hearing. I genuinely love what I'm hearing. Next, you got the situation. What is the current situation? The current situation is clear. As we reported weeks ago, Rodrygo is set to meet with Xabi Alonso. They've spoken about it numerous times, but this is a new little tidbit that a lot of people haven't spoken about. This meeting has yet to take place. We know that the Brazilian is feeling this, the Brazilian has Rodrygo will try to emphasize that he will let me read this again. This meeting has yet to take place, but we can exclusively reveal that Rodrygo will try to emphasize his will to play a left-sided role. The Brazilian feels this is where he can express himself the best and maximize his creativity and potential positionally. Interesting. The Club World Cup will be key in inductory of Rodrygo's future is settled, and Real Madrid are adamant they do not want to sell Rodrygo unless the player asks for a move. Arsenal, of course, are willing to pull off a Ozil-esque transfer to compete with any club for the services of Rodrygo should he become available. And finally, I want to say a huge privilege for collaborating with a world-class journalist in none other than the man himself, Rodrygo. This is a Real Madrid-based journalist. Shout out to Hand of Arsenal for the exclusive. This is a big, big, big story. And boy, in a day that has been very, very interesting, this is one of the most interesting topics that we've seen. I have felt like 90% of the news today was about rage baiting Arsenal fans, but that is something to make me really happy. Also, in case you guys don't know, Arsenal are also now working on a new head of scouting, as we're looking to take Juventus's head scout and are currently in advanced talks with him. He is the same guy who found Dean Howson. He's the same guy who found the Turkish sensation that's currently in Turin, in Yadazal. There is many other people he's also found, but Juventus were too quick to move on from him. So that is another thing there. There's also some other news that I wanted to run by. People were talking about earlier, there was some random news about the fact that could cost excess of 80 million any chance to bring in a left winger, but that was quickly rebuffed, quickly stroked down, quickly taken and thrown to the cleaners. It does look like it's going to be a very, very interesting window, but the most interesting thing of them all is to see what is going to be true and what is not going to be true. This right here is a major story, though. Major story. Of course, we spoke about Kepa, we spoke about Rodrygo, we spoke about that. Andre Berta, a left wing and a striker are the priority positions at Arsenal. The club have a number of targets in each, but Andre Berta is understood to be gathering the information on the best player in each position to choose before deciding with Mikel Arteta which deal to execute. That makes me happy because earlier today I seen a story about the fact that a left winger was not a priority. This makes me happy to hear that he is a priority. And Arsenal are interested in Rodrygo. The player is high amount among the left wing on the list, and Nico Williams, Leroy Sané, and Morgan Rogers are also other quality players that we might be looking at. So fair play. We also seen that Kivior is going to be staying. Reportedly, Kivior will be staying now that he played so well after Gabriel got injured. Kai Havertz will still have a big role in the striker role going forward into next season. So that's why they're assuming Sesko might be the pick. And that is pretty much that, ladies and gentlemen. If there's any more that I can talk about, it's pretty much just the stuff around Gyökeres and Sesko. So there is a rumor that Gyökeres could be headed to Manchester United. Now, I don't know how legitimate that is, but the rumor about Gyökeres to Manchester United is basically straightforward. Manchester United are looking at Gyökeres. Gyökeres would now potentially be open to a move to Manchester United. And that is pretty much the end of that story right there. As for the story about Sesko to Liverpool, I don't know how real that story is. I just seen it on like one of those TBG pages. Sesko, Liverpool. I just don't know how accurate this one is, but this one here just sounded like AI generated story. But yeah, that's pretty much that. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. Rodrygo to Arsenal, will it happen? Do you think it will happen? Do you think Rodrygo, if he does leave, Arsenal will be the team that gets him? Or do you think Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, somebody else could prize him away from us? And finally, just let me know how you guys are feeling right now. 5 days into the window, and it seems like there's so much still up in the air and nobody knows what's going on really. But there's a lot of speculation. And one thing we do know, Rodrygo is Arsenal's #1 winger priority signing. Hopefully we can get it done. Anyways, I'll leave it there. Would you like Kepa also? Let me know if you guys would take Kepa. And that's pretty much it. I'm out of here, people. Catch you guys in the next one. Love for the love. Peace.